So good afternoon and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name is Lori Gentile, Director of Client Services for the Women's Resource Center. We're a nonprofit organization focused on empowering women in Manatee and Sarasota counties since 1979. In addition to programs like this one, we offer mental health counseling, career planning, educational scholarships and programs, and legal and financial consulting and education, all at a low cost or or no cost at all to our clients. Before we begin, you probably have noticed that all the lines are muted, but we still do want to hear from you. To ask a question, if you look at the bottom, it's usually at the bottom of your screen, perhaps on the top, you'll see a box labeled Q&A. Just click on that. I think Mary's going to be asking you a few questions too, so that's how you'll interact during the webinar portion. And then if it's a question or something that needs to interact right away, I'll be there as your moderator and your host. Otherwise, we'll hold a bunch of questions till the end. And now it is absolutely my pleasure to introduce our instructor, Mary Onabodi. Mary's the owner of Soul Harmony Therapies, and she has over 35 years of experience leading meditation, yoga, and breath work. She's also a licensed massage therapist, and Mary's also known as a joyful healer of body, mind, and soul, and I can assure you she really is. One more thing before I turn it over to Mary, I forgot to mention that we are recording, and this replay will be available on our webpage tomorrow. So take it away, Mary.
Thank you, Lori. Thank you very, very much. It's an honor and a pleasure to be here. It's always is wonderful to work with the Women's Resource Center and to be of service to the women in our community. Today, we're going to do self-care for stress relief. And then we've got, this is a 1 out of 4 in a series. Next time, 2 weeks from this Thursday, we'll be doing a breath meditation, which will be breathing meditation in a sitting position and also in a movement meditation, working with Qigong, some movement experience, as well as how we use our breath. And then on November 12th, we're going to do what's called Qi Flow movement, which is kind of more like a workout. So different than the breath meditation in that there's a little bit more action, get your heart rate up a little bit, and also bringing together Qigong, breath, and some more calisthenics kind of things. Anyone can do that type of movement and that type of workout. That's what it's meant for, is for everyone. So you don't have to be, in great health to participate. And then lastly, we have Health, Heart, and Harmony, which is happening November 19th. And that will be really bringing harmony into all areas of your life, which we're going to touch on that a little bit today. As a matter of fact, I'll be touching on some of the other classes in this series today with upcoming things you're going to be learning. Health, Heart, and Harmony are really about bringing together all the areas of your life, your house, your home, the way that your home functions, the way that the kitchen operates, bringing all that into harmony, as well as in a healthful manner, healthy for you and for the people who live with you, if you have people who live with you. So that's going to be the full series. Today, we're going to focus on self-care for stress relief. So today we will be doing a lot of talking, and then there will be some things I'm going to be asking you to do with me for sure, but you may want to get a notepad and take some notes. There may be some things you want to write down. Firstly, we're going to start off with, I've got my little cheat sheet here, so I remember everything. Let's see here. The most common stress areas of our everyday life. So there's a lot of things that bring us stress. The first thing I'd like us to do today, just for the fun of it, and this is your opportunity to write a little something down, is I'd like us to start by creating an intention. So this is an opportunity for you to see what that feels like as far as how to create a stress relief situation in anything you're doing, but to start every day with an intention of how you're going to have your day go, instead of rolling out of bed and thinking, oh, another day, or, oh, I've got this project, or I've got this thing I've got to do, where you immediately hit the floor and you're full of stress. So, or your mind's already working on stuff. Instead, let's see if we can create an intention for how you choose to have the day go. You get to be in power. You get to empower yourself and your day with your intention. So we're going to do that now together as a group. I'd like you to close your eyes for a moment. Allow your eyes to close. Get into a comfortable position, wherever that might be, in a chair. You could even lay down for this if you'd like. Or if you're standing, or even if you're doing the dishes and you happen to be listening to this, allow yourself to stop for a moment. Take a deep breath, nice and big, into the belly. You can breathe in through the nose or the mouth, it doesn't matter. Just bring in the oxygen, that beautiful life force. Hold for a second or two at the top of the inhale. And then when you're ready, exhale and release and relax. Really relying on the floor to hold you, your chair, the floor, if you're standing, whatever surface you're supported on, allow that to hold you, to really feel that connection, that groundedness with the space that you're in. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And now with your eyes remaining closed, imagine how you'd like your day to go. Now I know we're already at noon and it doesn't matter. You can create this intention at any moment of the day and you can change it. Something comes up, you can change your intention. So right now, feeling the groundedness of your body and your presence in this space and place, connected to the center of who and what you are. Ask yourself, well, how would you like your day to go? What is your commitment for today? What's your committed way of being or having your day go today? It can be a word, a series of words, or a phrase. See if there's something that bubbles up from your heart, that comes up into your mind's ear. Remember to breathe deeply, feel your connection to the earth. And when you have your word or phrase, go ahead and type it in the chat or question and answer box. So I'd actually like to see them. If you have a chat area, put it in your chat area so I can see it. I think we'll do that. Or we didn't talk about this. You know, if you can, do it in both. Do it in the question and answer, because then that way Lori will get it and we can work with that with Lori as well. Okay. Come on. Let's see here. Happy and grateful. Thank you, Anne. Wonderful to hear from you. Thank you. Productive and joyful. Beautiful. Love it. Wonderful. Thank you so much. So happy and grateful, productive and joyful. I got loving and accepting. So I could turn that into loving acceptance if I wanted to. Loving acceptance. And I'm actually going to take that one on. Loving acceptance. So thank you very much. Happy and grateful, productive and joyful. I'm going to write that down because we'll use it later. Okay. Wonderful. All right. Thank you, Anne and Lisa. Thank you very, very much. Thank you for being with us live. I love this. It's beautiful to have people who are participating. Feels good to me to have interaction, even though we're going through Zoom. So there's lots of different ways that we have stress. So bringing in an intention to something can help with that stress. This is a little bit of a hard conversation, but whenever I talk about stress, it's something that I always bring up in a way. So just bear with me as I have this discussion and listen through the end, because sometimes it can be a little difficult for someone to hear. Stress is really almost always made up, meaning we've made it up in our heads. There is something that we have as a deadline. It's either happening in the future or it's something that's happened in the past and we're still running it through our memory. That here and now, most of the time, the here and now we may have deadlines, we may have things we need to get done, but if we can take a moment and take a breath and center ourselves right here and now, we're okay. We have food generally, if we need to eat, then that's something, right? But to kind of make a mental check. How am I doing? I'm alive, I'm breathing, I have been fed, I have warmth, I have love, I'm loved and I'm loving. And in this moment, I'm going to take a deep breath and center myself here and now in this moment. You can bring in your intention. I choose to be loving awareness. I choose to be happy and grateful in this moment. I choose to be productive and joyful. So you could create that as being joyful production, or I'm productive joyfully, right? So you can say, okay, well, I've got a lot on my plate. I got a lot to do today, but I am productive joyfully, right? Or I am grateful for what I have. Right now, I'm working towards something. I'm working towards something I want, something I'm striving hard for, but I'm grateful for what I have right now, this moment, my health, maybe my ability to take a deep breath, just that. Doing a grateful, what I'm grateful for list is always wonderful to have around. I like to keep 100 things I'm grateful for in a list handy so that when I want it and I get upset about something, it's right there. I can look at it, and it can be something as easy or as what seems obvious as I have the ability to see, I have the ability to hear, I have the ability to taste. I had ice cream last night, So what is it I'm grateful for? I can take a deep breath, thankful, right? So bringing those into our awareness in the moment when we start to feel overwhelmed and stressed. And then we're going to get into some other things. Trying to do too much. That's one of the ones that comes up a lot. If we have an overfull plate, we're going to have this feeling of stress. So like when I said stress is made up, meaning that we're playing with this before and after. We have it right here. So having the moment that we can say, okay, I have a lot on my plate. I have a lot to do. I have taken on maybe too much. And maybe what can I let go of out of my mind and awareness right now? It's impossible to actually do several things at once. Multitasking is, this is another hard conversation. Multitasking is a lot of the times a facade. We really can't multitask, not well. We have to have our minds work in direction and focus. If we're being pulled away by something, that's stress in and of itself. So I have a saying, stop, change, start again. That's one you may want to write down. Stop, change, start again. I have a lot on my plate today. I have a lot I have to do. I have particular deadlines. So what's my prioritize and stay in action? That's another saying I use a lot. Prioritize and stay in action. What's my priority for right now? Okay. Now something else pulls me away. Well, stop what I'm doing now. Stop. Stop my mental process on it. Stop my thought process on it. Change my direction. Where is it that I'm needed at this particular moment? And then when I can, I'm directed in the new place, start again. Stop, change, start again. The other is prioritize and stay in action. So when we get overwhelmed, a lot of the times we shut down. We hide. Stress response is 3 things: fight, flee, or hide. So those are the 3 responses to stress that your body gives you. Fight, I'm going to take on arms and I'm going to get it done. I'm going to fight. Or I have an argument with somebody. You know, when you notice when you're stressed, maybe there's more tension in the family. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. Fleeing, fight, flee. Running, I'm going to go. I'm going to go shop instead, or I'm going to go watch TV instead, right? Because it's too much. I can't do it. Or hide. I'm going to hang out on the couch and, you know, read a book, or I'm going to go in my room and want to be by myself, right? Fight, flee, or hide. So those are the natural stress responses. So we so with a natural stress response, one of the things you want to do is be able to say, oh, okay, this is this is activating my body in an unhealthy manner. Stress is one of the biggest causes of disease in our society. Stress. I would also say adrenal issues. So adrenals get affected by stress as well. So adrenal issues, and we live in a very high caffeinated society. We're going to see a lot of adrenal issues in the future with the young people, with Red Bulls and lots of coffee. You know, we live in a very coffee culture, and that adds to the stress. So we're going to talk about that too here in a little bit, as far as a diet that can keep you from being too stressed. Yes, caffeine's awesome, gets us going in the morning. But too much is going to really affect your ability to be able to calm down and center yourself, which we want to be able to do. All right. Any questions so far? I know this is kind of like if you have any questions, or there's something that you would like me to specifically address, please put it in the question and answer, and we will get it addressed. I'm going to go through quite a few things here.
No questions so far.
Nothing so far. Thanks, Lori. Thanks. Another thing I have written down here is thinking that you do not have control of a situation. So a lot of the times we think our life is kind of ran on somebody else's time frame, or somebody else's agenda, or something gets thrown at us, and we think that we don't have control over it. Well, to a certain degree, we don't have control over anything, but we have control over how we respond to something. And referring back to what we just talked about, is we have the ability to center ourselves, get connected with whatever our intention is in that moment or for the day that we've already set up, stay present, prioritize stay in action, and not to feel victimized by what's happening in our situation. To some degree, we always have some sort of control. So it's us being able to have that control and see it and bring it into our awareness that takes away the stress. To realize I've chosen this. So, you know, if you take on a high-powered job, or a job where there's a lot going on, very excited about it, that's awesome. And then when the things start to happen, it's like, oh my gosh, you know, and then you're stressed. Well, I chose this. I chose to take on this position. And actually, I'm enjoying it. That we're learning from our new experiences, and new experiences are always a little stressful. Stress has become a tag word. We could take stress, this is another one on my little list of things to talk about, is the word stress could be turned into the word excitement. I'm excited about doing something. I'm exhilarated. I'm, change the paradigm for which your thoughts are happening, which is also something we're going to talk about. Well, I think we'll do that now. When we have thoughts, all our thoughts are running our lives. They're running our perception of our life, running our perception of what's happening in this moment. So to be able to have a say-so over our thoughts, rather than our thoughts running us, for us to be able to have a say-so over what we think. And that comes from meditation. We're going to talk about that a little bit. And in our next series, we'll be doing a breath meditation. So you'll get a real opportunity to feel that. We're going to do a short meditation today, just to give you an idea. So we have the opportunity to bring in our own thought process, to change the narrative. to change the dialogue that's happening within our minds. So I was counseled years and years ago when I was going through a rough time. I went to see somebody who was helping me, and her counsel was, and this is what I'd like to offer to you, is for every negative thought you have in your mind, I'd like you to come up with 3 positives, whatever they are. They can be individual to that moment. They can be something that you make up that's ongoing. At the time, I had just taken yoga training, and I'd been a few months out of yoga training, and the yoga school I went to, their motto was, I am healthy, happy, and holy. So I use that. So I use that a lot. And then when I had the chance, I would make something up too. But negative thought about myself, negative thought about something else, about my situation. I went right into taking that deep breath, centering myself, feeling my body grounded. I am happy, I am healthy, I am holy. I am happy, I am healthy, I am holy. And I said it to myself until I believed it. It changed my life. So I want to offer that to you. It doesn't have to be happy, healthy, holy. Make up your own. And what I also realized out of that exercise was I was nonstop negative conversation in my head. It changed what was happening in my world, all around my world. It changed who I was in my world. It changed who I perceived I was being perceived as in my world. It changed the world around me because I saw it differently. I was able to take it and say, I am happy, I'm healthy, I'm holy. And the situation that I'm in is not, I have some control over it, and I can continue to move forward, prioritize, and stay in action. Okay. Yeah. How much caffeine is too much? Sorry, Lori, I took your job. I'll answer that in a minute. So a lot of this stuff is going to end up coming up. So we'll probably take, unless there's something really urgent, we'll have about 10 minutes at the end, 10 minutes at the end to answer any questions that you have. But I am going to go over what normal caffeine use is, or what would be appropriate. One of the things that I bring up a lot is communication skills with others, being able to communicate your personal needs and ask for help or a contribution. Asking kids for help. So I don't know who here has children, but asking for help. So if you have roommates, a partner, a husband, a wife, a child, that your morning is chaotic because you're crazy trying to get everything together, instead of having the kids or them watch TV or eat breakfast on their own, or while you're running around getting things together, involve them, enroll them in the opportunity to help. As humans, we have this dichotomy. If you think about it, we love to be able to help someone. There's nothing greater to most of us than to being asked to help. I need your help. People are right there for us. However, our human instinct is to not ask for it. Oh, I don't want to ask for help. So it starts at a very young age. Kids want to help. They want to help. They want to be involved. They want to make the morning easier. This is a kid trick, but and you could do it with a spouse too. So instead of rolling over or hitting the snooze button twice, so you're now 20 minutes or 30 minutes late, and rolling over late with a fast-paced morning. I'm late. I got to get out of here. Where are my keys? I got to get my coffee. How am I going to do all this? Instead, you get up when you set your alarm, and instead of having a rushed time to get the kids up. I remember when I have 3 children that it would be, hey, get up, I'd come over, kiss them, good morning, it's time to get up, and they're all like laying in bed. Instead, I started to make a habit of crawling into bed with them. I'm ready to go. I'm all ready to go, but I'm crawling into bed with them, snuggle with them for a few minutes, and spend 5 minutes with them. Honey, I love you, and it's time to get up. And they got up. Each and every one of them I did that with. So it took me 15 extra minutes, but my morning then was peaceful. It wasn't everybody being chaotic or me being upset that my kids weren't waking up when I asked them to, or me being the authoritarian, right, to make them get up. It was gentle. And then once they were up and I had lots to do, I incorporated them into helping me. Hey, grab your lunchbox. Hey, can you make your lunch when they got older? Hi, hey, can you grab my briefcase that I had at the time? Have everything at the door. Have your backpacks at the door. Do you have everything ready that you need? While I was doing stuff, and they were all doing it. They were doing it on their own. It made the mornings go from being completely chaotic to a loving experience. Also, you can do that with a partner. Also, saying what you need, what your needs are. Most of the time, or a lot of the times, we think that people know what our needs are, or that they should know what our needs are. If we're not communicating our needs, there is no absolute for sure way we know someone knows. Or if every time we're in the kitchen, there's an upset because the dishwasher doesn't get ran, and what it takes is a communication to say, hey, I really, it means a lot to me to have the dishwasher ran every night. However that works, but to actually communicate what it is that you need. That takes off a lot of stress, to have good communication with somebody. Communication can be very hard because it's only as good as our ability to be able to give someone else our idea or what we're actually thinking about. The example I always give is blue. So I can say the word blue, and each one of us, if we were given this huge palette of blue, would probably pick out a different color that came to mind of blue. So it's about being clear and being clear again. And then if it doesn't work, being clear again. And then there's a whole nother conversation about communication when you're not being heard, but we're not going to go into that today. But really about you saying what you need and asking for help, whatever that is. And that's the beginning. And then if you come into a situation where you're not being heard, that's a different subject. And maybe we'll do a seminar on that as well. Yeah, a good start to your day, a morning routine. So instead of chaos in the morning, a morning routine, going back to what I did with the kids when they were little, but a morning routine for you. Now, my morning routine is tea, meditation, workout, breath work, and I'm ready to go. So it takes me about an hour. Sometimes if I'm really in the mood, an hour and a half, I'll spend some extra time. Or if I'm in a hurry, I can do those in a way that I can get it done in 40 minutes or a half hour. But I have a morning routine for where I'm setting up my intention. I'm getting grounded. I'm saying who and what I am today. Who am I to be today? What's my possibility for today? Okay. Okay, yeah, all right, so that's that. That's some stuff. Let's see here. I'd like to show you some breathing techniques. So this is our little meditation. So bringing in your intention. I see we've got another person on. So we created an intention for the day. If you'd like to do that as well, a word or a phrase that you're going to bring into this meditation. Who and what you are today or in this moment. So again, let's go ahead and close our eyes. We're going to do a little bit of work with our breath. Close your eyes and just allow for right now your breath to be deep and full. It can come in through the nose or the mouth. You want to feel your belly expand on the inhale and your upper belly expand on the inhale. And then your chest, you want your chest to open, your rib cage to open on the inhale. Hold for a second or two. And then when you're ready, exhale. It's like a collapse of all of them. They just come down nice and relaxed. Once again, inhale into the belly, upper belly, chest, feel your rib cage open and expand. Hold. And exhale, releasing and relaxing. Allow yourself to take these deep breaths at your own pace. Bringing into your awareness your intention for the day. And as you inhale, you're bringing in this beautiful oxygen life force. I'd like you to imagine that when you inhale, you bring your intention into your body, your being, your soul. It becomes part of you. And on the exhale, you release any and all stress, upset, unease. Inhale your intention. Maybe now you see it written across your mind's eye. Exhale anything that doesn't serve your highest purpose, this intention. Excellent. And last time, inhaling now, bringing this intention in, maybe there's a color that comes to mind. That you can breathe in this color and imagine that as you breathe in, this color emanates throughout all of your body, coloring every part of your body, every cell. And exhaling, releasing anything that is not for you, that's not of this intention or this color. Excellent. Good. When you're ready, open your eyes. Excellent. So that was maybe 2 minutes. What I'd like you to do, and we're going to do this, I'm going to kind of ask you to do it during our talk here, is to bring it up really quickly. Like I'm going to say, okay, take a deep breath, close your eyes, take a deep breath, bring your intention, and do all that within 1 or 2 breaths. You can even do it with your eyes open, so that you could be in a meeting, or you could be at work, or you could have something going on, and you can presence that intention through breath, just through the moment of conscious breathing and bringing that awareness into that moment, back to that moment. Okay? We're going to do the rest of the talking, then we're going to do a little bit of self-massage and some stretching, just easy. These are quick, easy things you can do anywhere. But we are going to talk about nutrition, water intake. We're going to do that first, and then we'll get into some more things where we move a little bit. Water intake, this is where you do want a piece of paper and a pen. So water intake, you're going to write down half your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, 75 ounces. Okay, so write that down on a piece of paper. And then I'd like you to, and we're not going to talk about how much caffeine right now, just talk about where you are with caffeine. So some people drink coffee all day long, and I've counseled and coached some people who were heavy coffee drinkers. That, like I said, will eventually wear you out, and your adrenals can only take so much. They'll crash. It's called adrenal fatigue. But for right now, you're going to kind of count up in your mind, you know, how many cups of caffeine you have in the morning. I'm a 2-cup person. So I have 2 8-ounce cups of tea in the morning. And I'd like you to double that. So that'd be 16 ounces. Write that on your piece of paper under your half your body weight in ounces. So however much caffeine you drink, double it. So if you drink caffeine all day long, this is going to be, it's going to be impossible for you to drink enough water. We're going to have to change your diet, right? In order for you to get the hydration you need. But for right now, just go, how much coffee am I having? Am I having a coffee in the afternoon? Well, then add that one. So whatever your coffee or caffeine intake, that includes colas, that includes Red Bulls, that includes tea. Obviously, espresso. Coffee, any kind of coffee that you are drinking, you or caffeine that you're drinking, you want to double it and add that to your water. And then any alcohol that you may have or consume during the day or at night when you get home. So I personally don't drink alcohol. I know lots of people who have a couple of glasses of wine at night. Wonderful. There's health benefits to that. Or a glass of wine. There was actually some research, I think I'll bring that up. There was actually some research done about alcohol, and for women, the recommendation was no more than a glass of wine a day. That was the recommendation. Otherwise, you get into an area where the alcohol starts to affect you in a negative way. So like a glass of wine or a highball kind of drink or a beer. But let's say a lot of women drink wine, or a lot of people drink wine these days. So let's say you have 2 6-ounce glasses of wine. So that's 12 ounces. So now you're going to add 24, right? Because it's, did I do the math right there? So 2 cups of tea, 8 and 8 is 16, makes 32 ounces. And 2 glasses of wine at 6 ounces is 12, which makes 24 ounces, right? So you get the math. So whatever ounces you're drinking of caffeine or alcohol, you're going to double it and add it to your water intake. And then what do you get? So in my little cheat sheet here, so I actually did 4 ounces of wine, 8 ounces of coffee. I came up and the person weighed 150 pounds. So 150 pounds, 75 ounces, 2 cups of coffee, 8 ounces in the morning comes to 32 ounces. 2 4-ounce glasses of wine is what I came up with, is 16 ounces. And that came up for a total of 124 ounces of water a day. So that's that would be a good water intake. If you're sweating a lot, you want to add to it. That's basically your base. You definitely don't want to go under half your body weight, but preferably you want to add the doubling for caffeine and alcohol. And you preferably want your water to be room temp or warm, if you like it warm with a little bit of lemon in it, warm, room temp, or slightly cold, not really cold. Really cold water, your body has to digest it before it has to cool it off or warm it up before it can cool it, or before it can digest it. It has to warm it up before it can digest it. It slows down your digestion. Cold water is generally not good for you. Gulp, 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 gulp. It's hard for you to assimilate in your system. So preferably room temp or warm. So those help with stress. If you're getting enough water intake, you're going to feel better. A lot of our stress is not feeling well, right? And to answer the question, since I do know we had that one, how much is a normal amount of caffeine? So generally they say about 2 8-ounces a day. So if you're going to have one in the afternoon, you like to have one in the afternoon, one in the morning, one at night. So an espresso would be 2 espresso shots a day. You go to a fancy coffee shop, you're getting 2 espresso shots in 1 cup, just so you have an idea. That'll give you an idea. And then, like I said, if you add Pepsi or any Coca-Cola products, soda products, I think Dr. Pepper as well has caffeine, you're going to add to that. So caffeine also, it does help digestion. However, it actually takes away fluid from your body. That's why you're doubling your water intake. So that's the coffee talk and the water talk. Very, very quickly, we're going to go over good nutrition. So just a few points here. I think everybody knows good nutrition. Vegetables, lean meats are always good. Fruits, vegetables, and lean meats. That's really your best diet, period. I am going to talk a little bit about what it is that most people have an allergic reaction to and may not even know. And that's gluten, sugar, and dairy. So sugar, you think, I love sugar, so I'm guilty of that. It's where I have my weak spot. I love a cookie. Give me a cookie and I'm one happy woman. But sugar, gluten, and gluten's getting a lot of press right now and a lot of notoriety. Everybody's gluten-free. But gluten has been an issue for our digestion for quite a while, especially in the US because of the way it's processed here. So gluten dairy also, dairy has a lot of hormones in it. A lot of us have some reaction to dairy that we're not even aware of. So if you want to start to feel better, if you're not feeling good, you're sluggish, lethargic, allergic, you have allergic responses, then my recommendation is usually to get off of gluten, dairy, and sugar for 3 weeks. Those are the biggies. Now, if you want to add to that alcohol, nicotine, and caffeine, excellent. That would make it even better. Nicotine, alcohol, and caffeine. A lot of people actually are allergic to alcohol and don't know it. So we're seeing a lot of people come up with alcohol allergies, and it comes up in a different way. It's not like people don't feel well the next day. We're seeing a lot of that. That's adrenals are affected. Adrenals are affected by caffeine, alcohol, nicotine, and sugar. So that was something you may want to write down. Caffeine, alcohol, nicotine, and sugar are what affects your adrenals. So that's your stress response. When you have stress coming into your presence, into your life, it makes your adrenals pop up, activates your adrenals. That's where you get the fight, flee, or hide response. That's called the reticular alarm system. It's your body's stress response. What adds to that is nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, and sugar. So if you are having high stress, you want to stay away from those 4. Nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, and sugar. And then the things that we're most allergic to are dairy, gluten, and sugar. So what is it that, actually, and alcohol, like I mentioned, alcohol. So the 2 things that are on both lists are alcohol and sugar, just so you know. Those are the biggies. All right. So exercise habits, 4 or 5 days a week. Like I said, a lot of people know this. But what I'd like to say about alcohol or about exercise is that it doesn't have to be this like, oh, I'm going to get up and do an hour's worth of whatever. It can be movement. It can be dance. It can be put on your favorite album, put on music on your favorite radio station and dance, move, play, walk in your yard, walk around the block. It can be done in increments. It doesn't have to be an hour or 20 minutes. We've been taught, a lot of us, and it is better if you can do 20 minutes at a time. However, do 10 minutes, do 5. If you start off with 5 minutes, I feel good, you get your body moving, get some stretching going, and before you know it, you're going to want to do 10 or 15. Now you're getting up a little earlier because you want to do a half hour. You want to do an hour, right? So don't put more stress on yourself about how to do it perfectly. Just get your body moving, little stretching, little weightlifting. Get a couple weights in your house, lifting up weights. I know people who work out with soup cans. So it doesn't have to be anything that takes away from your life. You want it to add to your life. Exercise can be fun, riding a bike, going with your friends on a bike ride. It's wonderful to have an exercise companion. It always makes it so that it's more fun and you're for sure going to do it. So yeah, that's exercise. All right, so stretching and massage techniques. So self-massage. So classic places that people get tension is low back and in the shoulder area and neck and jaw. That's where I see it mostly. So low back, you can take your fists and put them at your low back. Put them at your low back and work your low back like this. All the way into the hips and down. You can see how you could do that at your desk. And then as you're working your low back, you can bend over a little bit and give it a little stretch while you're working it. All around your rib cage, little self-massage techniques. Boy, I hope you saw that. And then for your shoulders, you know, the opposite hand up in your shoulders. If you move your arm along with working your shoulder blades, your shoulder up in the upper shoulder here, it'll actually move the muscle tissue. You'll feel it, and you'll have more of an opportunity to get into certain places that are super tight. You can squeeze in here, like just one big squeeze. Don't squeeze too hard. Sometimes that'll give you a headache. But nice, soft, gentle movements. Anything that hurts, our natural instinct is to rub it. Rub it. Most of the time, that's exactly what you need, unless you have a broken bone. It's rubbing is what your body's asking for. So back in here, you have bone. You don't want to rub directly on bone, but you can get really close to it. Working the muscle tissue back and forth. You can go up into the neck, up into the neck, up in here. Good. From the neck, I like to do both hands at one time. So kind of going in circles behind the neck. You go all the way from the base of your neck, up, up into the very base of your skull. And then at the base of your skull, you can rub along the base of your skull here. And again, this is a great place to bend your skull a little bit and get a little stretch in there. You can also, when you're working your neck and skull up in there, is to move your head just a little bit. And that gets those muscle tissues moving. A lot of this is instinctual. You know, something hurts, we play with it, we push on it, right? But it's okay for you to rub your body. You know, I've had people who are concerned that they might hurt themselves. You know, you're not going to hurt yourself with your own pressure because you won't allow yourself to. These muscle tissues here are called SCM for short, sternocleidoid mastoid. They go from the clavicle and the sternum joint, that's the SC joint right here, and then goes diagonally up behind the head. And those are classic headache muscles. You have a really bad headache, a lot of the times that doesn't show up like, oh, it hurts here, but they're causing the headache. So they're kind of fun to work. And go all the way up behind the head. Good. Behind the ear. Neck, shoulders, and back. Good. Jaw, your mandible is free floating here. It has, you know, it's kind of hung out in space on its own, attached by muscles. So when your jaws get tight, which is a very classic, excuse me, kind of stress response, it actually is part of the adrenal response as your jaws tighten up. So just to play in the jaw, find those spaces that are tender and tight, and just play with them a little bit. I got one right there for sure. Good. And then you can also bring your awareness down, because the muscle comes down and along the jawbone here on both sides. Always do both sides. One of the things I like to counsel people on is opening your mouth, and open your mouth really wide and then slowly close it and see which side touches first. A lot of the times you'll have one side of your jaw that'll touch sooner than the other. And that's usually the side you're tighter on. So you can work that side first and then do both sides. Feels good. I look funny, but it feels good. So these are techniques you can do at your desk anytime during the day, while you're driving at a stoplight, right? And quick stretches are, you got shoulder circles, which feel so good, and they're so easy. And all you have to do is just do them. they're right there. Your shoulders are with you all the time, just like your breath is with you all the time. You don't have to take a special pill, do a special thing, say a special vibe. You don't have to do, have to read a special book. All you have to do is take a deep breath to center yourself and bring in stress relief, okay, through your breath. Shoulder circles are another one. So rolling your shoulders, you can do one at a time, just the shoulder. Then you bring in the elbow. And then full arm. And of course, you can do it with both arms at one time, or you can do one arm at a time, kind of the backstroke. Ah, yeah, feels good. Yes, feels good. And then go the other direction. Forward, some back, forward, elbows, forward. You can do them together. I have a friend who says this is the chicken move. And then both arms, there's the breaststroke. Yes, feels very good. Oof. I like to always end up with back because we are always doing stuff in the front. We usually, 99% of the people I have seen need to open up their chest, not the other way around. So most of us are rounded forward. So always end up with the shoulders back, okay? Shoulders back and down and relaxed. Good. And for neck stretches, I'm going to show you this one. This is on the side. So this is a representation of your spine. And this is a representation of your skull on your spine. So you're going to do 3 different movements with this. First one is very classic. Most people have done this or do this instinctively. And that you take your spine and your skull and you bend them down. Looks like this. Spine, skull. And, tracking with your eyes, looking down, I see the floor, I see my chest, I feel a pull in here. It's very nice, gorgeous. Take a deep breath. Exhale and slowly track myself back out with my eyes, coming back to a center position, okay? Next one is spine, skull. You're gonna bring your skull back on your spine. Now that's not tilting back, it's not this. It's this. This is excellent for headaches, neck tension, issues with neck and shoulders, jaw, all of these. So straight back. So it looks, my hand is here only to show you I'm not going forward at all. I'm only going back, back, center, back, center, back, center. That's glorious. Feels very good. Lastly, that's called the turtle. So imagine you're kind of bringing your turtle head back. Lastly, spine, skull. Now we're going to just tilt the skull. So it's not the spine one where you're taking your skull with you, right? You're not looking down. You're just tilting the skull on the spine. So it's like someone's taking not the crown of your head at the top, but kind of like the back crown of your head and pulling up, or as if something is pulling your chin into your throat. So it's a little movement. These are little movements. And that looks like this. Center and pull in. Center and pull in. Yay. That's what I have for you today. What are our questions, Lori?
Okay, let's see. We have, I'm feeling better already. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Yeah, we have the caffeine question. Oh, here comes one, hold on. Can't wait for the next one.
Yay. Next time, when we do meet next time, be in something that's a little comfortable to move in, because we will be doing some movement. We'll be sitting and moving, and you're going to learn different types of breath for different things. So for focus, like a little bit of what we did today, relaxation, stress reduction, And then we're also going to learn a very major one to kind of amp up our system, to amp up our space. Like I love to teach this for people who at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, like I'm starting to get tired and I want that cup of coffee. Instead, I'm going to teach you a way to breathe. Okay, to bring you that energy. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks for coming. And Mary, thanks so much for being here. What a great break in the middle of the day.
Yeah, right? It's
Such
awesome.
a nice
Thank you.
treat.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thanks
thanks.
so much. Bye.
Okay, bye.